I'm Joe Bianchini with ABD Engineers and Surveyors, and I'm here representing David Fusco. Dave owns approximately 6 acres of land on Old River Road, which is here, if you can see it. It's Old River Road is down by 890, where you get on 890, about 1,100 feet down Old River Road. It's adjacent to, there's a cell tower here on lands of Steve Simino. The Long Pond apartments back up to it here, and there's some land of General Electric and some more lands of Steve Simino that he abuts. The land is zoned general industrial, but that allows just about anything. However, we're in zone 2 of the aquifer, which pretty much says, no, you can't do anything that's allowed by the zoning. So Dave, his land is quite constrained. Of the 6 acres, about 3.5 acres is New York State DEC wetlands and the 100-foot adjacent area. We're not proposing to fill in or do anything in the wetlands. He's got about 2.5 acres there. What he'd like to do is simply clear the land and fill it, because not only is it in the aquifer zone, it's also in the 100-year flood zone, and we're below the floodplain elevation. So in order to do anything, we got to fill it to about 2 foot above the flood elevation, which means bringing in 3 to 5 feet of fill on the site. And all he simply intends to do at this point is fill it so that he can try to get somebody interested in doing something there. He has no intentions of using it himself. He would like to market the property to see if somebody wants to put an office there, or whatever that can be go in there. There is water and sewer available by going through the Long Pond, which is another issue that we'd have to go through. Obviously, anything that would be done there, we'd have to come back not only to the planning board, but also to this board, because we're in the aquifer zone. He's aware of that, but the first step is getting it filled so that we're at least above the floodplain, and somebody can look at it and determine whether or not they're interested in that site. You can see it from 890, so they'll probably want to put a sign up there indicating that it is available. That's pretty much it.
I know where it is, Joe. I've seen it.
Yeah.
Where the stumps were in that.
Right.
It's right next to the tower.
The tower, it's right next to the tower. Yep.
Right. Anybody else want to talk about
How
it?
close is it to any wells over in that area, Joe?
The wells are all on the other side of West Campbell Road, so if it's 1,100 feet to the West Campbell Road, it's probably, I guess, 2,000 feet or more to the wells.
I'm not talking water wells, I'm talking other
Oh,
wells.
individual wells?
I'm talking wells. Needless to say, I've been here a little too long, but I was there when that Long Pond project went in. There are some concerns there was some dumping that was over there, not too far from the G line. The other issue is this: you're going to be putting in how many feet of fill, did you say?
3 to 5.
3 to 5, and needless to say, when you come up 3 to 5, that water is going to go someplace else. And it is in the aquifer zone.
Well, I'm pretty familiar with that area. I used to put
Yeah,
that
we'll be putting in we'll go through all these standard erosion control measures with silt fence, and we'll have a little depression next to the silt fence for the water to run off into that.
Yeah, you have to do that.
Yeah, you have to do all that
I know
stuff.
that.
Yeah. The water comes right up that road
Yes, it does.
every year, isn't it?
Yeah.
It floods out where the tower is, where everything is. It's been like that for
Forever.
since I was a kid. And the only way you can overcome it is fill it.
You started your presentation by emphasizing the fact that it's zoned light industrial.
Yes, it is.
And that puts us in a fine spot here, because you're not asking for a zone change to limit what you can put.
We're not at this point,
Right.
but
So what you're asking us to do, this board, is to basically allow, because it is in the aquifer zone, to fill in, to raise that up what the potential, and I will use the word potential because I don't know what the applicant wants to use the land for. Right now, because of the way it's zoned, you can do just about almost anything there. Now, I do know I know the members of planning commission will make you jump through the hoop, but my concern is by giving this approval now, are we committing or tying our hands down the road from a board standpoint? Because unless there's a zone change, we won't be back before us
Oh, yes, we will.
to go to the planning commission.
No, anything we do in that aquifer zone, we have to come back to this board.
Okay. But are we, in other words, it isn't gonna be cheap to fill that in. I know.
No, it isn't,
Right,
but
what I'm saying is I wanna make sure the board understands it. And I know this is the public hearing.
yeah.
That they understand that if this goes forward, the applicant's gonna invest a significant sum of money. And since we don't know what the project's going to be, we don't have a full picture. That's all I'm saying. And they have all the packages and everything. I don't know whether we're gonna vote on this at the next meeting or not, but those are some of the issues that are on my mind, and like I said, the rest
So
of
the applicant is fully aware that he's got to come back to both this board and the planning board to do anything down there. But before he can do anything, he's got to have a piece of land that's developable.
I know, Joe, you know, I've been here a while, I know what you're saying, and I understand the applicant's position, but I'm only making some points. When the board looks at the information, because they all have it in their packets, that they understand what's going on in this area and what happened with Long Pond. Because as you're aware, the water here is a dividing line to where the water runs. And this is right on the line. Long Pond, remember there was a concern about drainage going to the aquifer? Well, it drains east to GE.
This drains to the east towards GE.
Towards GE. It goes in, there's another little.
The Winnick Kill.
What is it?
Winnick Kill.
Winnick Kill, yes. So, those are the only points that I want to make.
That land right there was about 4 or 5 feet higher. The topsoil was all removed out of there when I was 15 years old.
Okay, I don't remember that.
And I was there.
I don't either.
And that whole area from there, right down through, had 4 or 5 foot of topsoil. It was all taken away, so that's why it's all low. It never used to flood.
Yeah.
You could, when I was 7, 8 years old, I used to work on a farm right there.
Yeah, it was all farm.
And never had a water problem until we took all the topsoil out. Then it just flooded in there and then continued to flood all the way past the canal and right on through. So actually, at one time, that ground was 4 or 5 feet higher. So, I don't know, we want to close the public hearing or keep it open or?
It's up to the board.
Huh?
It's up to the board.
What do you want to do? What do you want to do? Somebody got to tell us.
Well, they're here now, I'd say let them, they've got a lot of hoops to jump through anyway. Let them
I'm sorry?
let them get started. Let them get started with it, I think it's a goal.
No,
At least get them going anyway.
I'm for closing the public hearing and you've done, I don't know, how would you?
Oh, nobody else wants to speak?
Nikki?
If nobody wants to speak, then close it.
I'm sorry,
If nobody wants to speak, then close it.
you all right with that?
If nobody else is here to speak on it,
Oh,
then
I know
close
it,
it.
yeah. I don't know if anybody else wants to speak. All right,
Okay.
public hearing.
Thank you.